Hi, this is TJR. I am a musician and a music writer.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and I'm a music writer and a musician.
And we are here today to discuss the 5.1 stereo remix of Electric Ladyland. And I want to say right now that if I accidentally refer to the album as Electric Landlady, it's not my fault.
Always forgiven.
I don't know why it is. It's just maybe just this comic sense of humor in me. I keep wanting to refer to the album as Electric Landlady.
That's funny.
Ever since that Christian McCall album. I just can't.
And now I'm probably going to be thinking that too. So yeah.
Now I've jinxed us both.
Wow.
But
it is Electric Ladyland, right?
The Electric Ladyland, yes. And of course, we're referring to the recent 50th anniversary deluxe edition that was released earlier this year. I did do an unboxing video. I did say that I would review the various elements of this release. And since you and I did the review on the Blu Ray for the White Album 5.1 remix.
I think that was by a band, the Beatles or something? I think that
you are correct, sir.
They might stick around. Their music might endure or something,
I think. It might, yeah. Especially with that new remix.
Exactly.
But since we did that together, I thought that maybe we would do this one together as well, and we've both listened to it. This is the actual Blu-ray that it comes with. The set itself, of course, comes with a new stereo remastering of the album. It comes with a disc of never before heard demos, and it also comes with a disc featuring a live concert that has never been released before. We're not going to discuss any of that here. We're just going to discuss this Blu-ray. Now, we should also mention here, and just let me go ahead and just read from this here. Along with the two 5.1 mixes, it also includes what it says here, original Electric Ladyland stereo mix, high-resolution audio. The original 2-track stereo mixes for the entire album, drawn from the original quarter-inch flat master tapes and presented in high-resolution audio. So we also did a little bit of listening to that just to kind of give us some comparison.
Right, some reference checks, yeah.
And also we did a slight reference check with the new Remaster 2 as well, just for comparison purposes. So let's talk about this 5.1 remix. This was remixed by Eddie Kramer. Do you want to start?
I mean, just as a general statement, it's a revelation. When you listen to this, you're going to hear things you've never heard before, and it's just mind blowing. I mean, the 5.1. Obviously Eddie Kramer kind of knew that what direction Hendrix would have wanted had he been alive today, and he hadn't passed away at age 27. If he was around today, I think Hendrix would have had a blast with this 5.1 mix, and I think Kramer really tapped into the spirit of Hendrix. I think he even referenced in the liner notes he felt Hendrix was with him when he was doing some of these 5.1 mixes here.
Yeah. In the notes on this edition here, in the book, and I should also mention it's also a hardcover book, and there is a section about just the remix with notes from Eddie Kramer, where he does talk about how he did always consider how would Hendrix have liked to have heard this, that while they were mixing the stereo in the studio, there were times when they were creating sound effects that felt almost like the audio was coming from behind them versus in front of them.
And you do hear some of that on the stereo mix with a good sound system. That's definite. And the stereo mixes are great, but I'd have to actually read all my notes, but there were some times where you're listening to it, like even all along the Watchtower, where you're just saying, "Oh my God!" I mean, it's mind blowing. You said this is more adventuresome and groundbreaking today, 50 years after it was recorded, than so much of what you hear on modern rock radio. Or, I mean, it really makes you realize, why Hendrix is still widely considered the greatest electric guitar player of all time, and like we were both saying, even his vocals and some of the. I mean, there's so many things that emerge in this 5.1 surround mix that are just glorious and just exciting.
I remember hearing you say a number of times as you listened, this is a revelation.
Yeah, it is.
I remember we were listening to the Voodoo Child. And I remember I said I felt like I could almost feel the vibrations from Hendrix Amplifier on that particular track. One thing I would say, just as an overall thing, what I think really comes out is throughout the album, Hendrix is creating atmosphere, not so much guitar parts, not so much guitar playing, but he's creating atmospheric effects with his guitar using various, amplifier sounds, various phasing effects. the use of the wah pedal. And I wrote down here, I said that these soundscapes, for lack of a better word, not really, nothing melodic, but these effects, these soundscape effects, these atmosphere effects, I think these shine really tremendously more than they have ever have before. And I think you're going to really both hear and feel the presence of these. And they do help take these tracks into a more cinematic area when you hear them in 5.1. You're going to feel them a lot more. You're going to notice them a lot more. And it's almost going to start creating more of a motion picture in your mind.
Yeah.
As you hear it this way. So that's, to me, that is one of the main things I would bring up about this. Now, otherwise, though, now we I don't know if there's any specific tracks that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Voodoo Child.
Yeah. That
expansive live track
was
mostly live.
Maybe a couple quick notes, like Let the Good Times Roll. Just a solo, the guitar solo on there is just so electric and blistering, listening to it through the sound mix. And I think there was another one that when I was listening to Burning of the Midnight Lamp, you're just so immersed in the surround mix. It's just such an immersive, all-encompassing experience. I mean, like you're saying, the atmospheric elements, it's like you're swept up in. It's kind of like people might know I'm really into hiking. When you go in the mountains and you feel the wind and all that stuff, it's more than just the pain on your feet. It's just everything around you happening. You're acutely aware of what's going on around you. That's what this does. It's like all of a sudden in this musical world that Hendrix has created, you're totally just able to discover that with him and with what Eddie Kramer has done here. It's just... It's amazing. I mean, you know, it's like almost like you're getting to hear this masterwork for the first time in many ways.
In some respects, yeah. As far as the track you just brought up, The Burning of the Midnight Oil, I remember I wrote a note that during that introduction, down, I really felt a delineation between the keyboard, which feels like a harpsichord, and Jimi's wah guitar playing in a way that I never felt before, never heard before. I felt a real tremendous delineation on that. It was, I think we're much more dramatic.
And I think we're both on track that Burning of the Midnight Lamp, that is one of the...
Midnight Lamp, excuse me. Did I say well?
Yeah.
I did. Okay, sorry,
that's
Internet.
Okay.
It's a mistake, okay? Relax, chill out, get off your keyboard. You don't need to correct us. Get off your keyboard, sit down, watch
If you watch us with any regularity, we will misspeak. We have that in common with some politicians, I guess. But not that we're going to run for office or anything. No. Not going to happen.
But everybody mixes up words now.
Yeah, but anyways. No, that's one of the truly great ways to, I think, great finds on this album, if you want to say it like that. That track really makes you appreciate the benefits of listening to this with the surround mix.
Yes, absolutely. I just want to say that like songs like Long Hot Summer Night, a great track, but it came alive in a way that I previously hadn't felt. So yeah, in that respect, there are tracks like that where it really does feel like I'm hearing it again for the first time.
Yeah.
There were some other tracks that had a similar response to me. I think it's called Still Rain, Still Dreamy. And tracks like that, once again, just came alive.
Yeah.
I've liked those tracks in the past. I'm not saying I didn't like them previously, but they just suddenly like, whoa, hit me in a way with a certain electricity that I hadn't felt before.
I think what happens here, and maybe the final thing I might say about it, is when you listen to this on the surround mix, you are back 50 years ago in the studio with Jimi Hendrix and his band, and you are hearing what it must have been like, because we've both been in really nice recording studios and stuff. You are hearing it like they must have heard it in that joy. It's like, I know that many artists complain, like in the 60s, the limitations of, they only had 4-track, they had 2-track, maybe they had 8-track. So they were limited in what they could do compared to what artists could do even a decade later.
Access to now.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, when you listen to this, it's to discover all the thrill and all the joy that they had in making this album. I don't know what you're...
No, I agree. It's as close as you're going to get to feeling like you were there in the studio with them. And the other thing I would just mention, a little bit of a comparison between this and the Beatles White Album remix, which we listened to in 5.1 and reviewed here on this channel, which also was a stellar, amazing remix.
Yeah.
You know, some of the differences in that remix, there were oh wow moments where I really felt like I felt like I remember I said I felt like a background vocal on one particular song, like literally like flew over my head.
Yeah.
As if it was flying, as if the speaker was actually
Right.
moving around me. There were like really amazing moments like that. And there was also a lot more delineation. Like I could really, if I wanted to, I could just focus in on like George's guitar track and really just focus in on it as if it was just plugged in separately. Now, I didn't experience as much of that with this, but on the other side of it though, on the you know, because there's pros and cons to both things. On the other side though, there really was more. Well, there was really more the feel that you are there in the room with the band. The band was alive for a lot of these tracks. At least the basic tracks were. A lot of it was live. Overdubs added later. But had there been other musicians to have done those overdubs live with them, it really comes as close as you're going to get to feeling like there's really more of this feeling like you're there in the middle of the room with the band. Which is different from how I felt with the White Album remix. Like I said, although I liked that one too, it has they all have their plus and minuses depending on how you approach it.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
So that would be the only other thing I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, and one other thing I do want to bring up is this stereo Blu Ray audio as well. I remember reading some comments from at least one viewer who said, you know, I got it and I don't have a 5.1. So all I'm left with is this, and I didn't think the live album was very good. I didn't care for the demos, so all I'm left with is this new remaster. If you have a Blu-ray player, of course, which most people do, and most people have a home theater system, even if it's just stereo, you might get a lot of appreciation out of this original stereo mix that's on this, where they've gone back to the original 2-track stereo master tape and transferred it over in uncompressed, high resolution audio. Even that
is great.
Was pretty amazing. We
yeah.
listened to it, we compared, and
it's very, very close.
You might get strong enjoyment. And this is not this is not listening to the remaster disc that's on this. This is going back to the original master tape and just giving us a high resolution
transfer of that
onto Blu-ray for you. It is not the remastered disc. And
but yeah, for the audiophile, it sounds fantastic. I mean, we both agree with that. Yeah.
And one other thing, we did make a quick comparison to the remaster stereo, the new remaster that came on this version, and this uncompressed, this original stereo mix. This really beat it.
I think it did. I agree.
Really beat it by far.
Yeah, the other one. Well, I don't know if I can say it on the fly here, but yeah, you can hear the difference. It's dramatic, and I think in most cases people are going to like this one much better. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. So,
Robert, if you don't mind, I had said that I would probably. I said initially when I did the unboxing that I would review the various elements of this of this release here. I think that I don't need to waste everybody's time with the second video talking about the remaster, the live, and the demos, and the book. I think that very quickly I can sum it up here if you folks don't mind.
No, want to tune in.
I just get it all done here in one video.
Yeah.
As far as the stereo remaster, I compared it to the last stereo remaster, which was roughly about 10 years ago. I would say there's a very minimal difference. There's just a maybe slight bit of extra clarity, slight bit of maybe improvement, but not enough to make it worth your while, in my opinion. I don't think that a remaster was necessary. I think what they should have done was, like with the Beatles, do a complete remix, stereo remix of the album. That might have been the better way to go. With that said, though, it's like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. But I feel sorry for the engineer that did it. It wasn't Eddie Kramer, and I'm sorry his name escapes me right at the moment here. I could just stop and look it up, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I feel like it was too soon. There just hasn't been enough technology improvement to make a difference for it. As far as the live disc, a lot of people have already mentioned this on YouTube and in our comment section. It is not a very good recording. How much you like it depends on how hardcore you feel about Jimi Hendrix. Granted, if anybody said, hey, it's not great audio, but I've got this live recording of Hendrix, from back in the day that's never been released, I'd want to hear it. But as I listen to it, it's not something I'm going to probably listen to a whole lot because it's the poor audio quality. And they even mentioned in the book, this is not great audio quality. This was not planned to be recorded. It's, otherwise it would have been recorded very differently. It is what it is. It's and I understand it's even been bootlegged before. I'm sure they did the best they could to clean it up from that, to make it a little bit better than those bootlegs, So take that with a grain of salt. The demos I enjoyed thoroughly. I know that some people may not enjoy the demos. They don't care about that. I enjoyed the demos thoroughly, and I really felt the demos bring out how beautiful Hendrix's voice can be. And that is another thing we should mention real quick. We both mentioned it when we were listening. This Blu Ray 5.1 mix, we both commented on how much it brings out the beauty of Hendrix's voice, something that he just gets continually overlooked on. Is what a really good singer
he was. Fantastic. Really unique, great voice. And so at times his voice is really sweet, soulful. At other times, obviously, he's kind of
powerful and
mean.
And just ferocious.
Just a really good singer.
But really good range. And in these demos, especially when he's just playing just a guitar in the room, singing along, you really hear the sweetness of his voice. That was there, just how beautiful it could be when he wasn't, when he wasn't just yelling, when he wasn't being more aggressive, you could really hear the sweetness in his voice. And so I wanted to point that out too. The book is wonderful as far as just the text, the information, everything it gives you. Looking at his original lyric sheets and everything else, the book is wonderful in my opinion. And of course, the Blu-ray also contains the documentary, the full-length, feature-length documentary. At last, the beginning, the making of Electric Ladyland, and I didn't say Landlady. I paused because I almost thought I said Landlady. It's a great documentary. Now, I understand that some people may have already seen it, but I personally had never seen it. So, from a first-time experience, the fact that I've never owned it before adds to my enjoyment of this. The only other thing I will say is, in the past, I have been pleased with the last set of Hendrix re-releases, remasters, because they gave you a good value for the money for what they gave you. The remastered audio was good. The DVD bonus was extra. The bonus packaging was great. The extra materials in the booklet were great. They didn't charge you that much for it. This set, I think, originally was out at about $42. It is very well priced for what it is. And I'm just referring to the CD set. I've not looked at the vinyl version. This is just the CD set. It's very inexpensively priced, and in some cases you can get it even for less than that. So overall, I'm pleased with the price points and all that. And I just wanted to point that out. Now I don't have to make another video about that. I don't think it's really necessary. Hey everybody, this is TJR from the future, time traveling into the present. While I sat with Robert, I forgot to mention the book itself, which is how the CD set is packaged. The book is very well done. Lots of great photos, lots of good historical liner notes about the making of the album, lots of great photographs, including detailed reproductions of Jimi Hendrix's original lyric sheets. Enjoyed the book a great deal. Okay, let's get back to the present. Thank you for putting up with that.
No, I plan on getting this. I'm planning on getting it soon. I mean, I'm especially after we sat down and listened to the surround sound Blu-ray together. I mean, it blew me away. I'm like, okay, this is my next audio purchase without a doubt.
The surround sound. I said this back when I first announced this was coming out. I said I don't think that a new remaster is necessary and that it's going to make a huge difference. It didn't. There's nothing wrong with it. But it didn't make any major difference. I said the real star is going to be probably this 5.1 remix, and after hearing it, I think we both agree.
Yeah, it's spectacular.
Yeah. So, with that said, if you've checked out this set, if you've checked out the remix, let us know what you think. Give us your thoughts on every aspect of it here. We are curious to know what you have to say. And as always, if you like what we're doing and you want to help us make more videos, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter. And, pledging as little as $1 a month or the cost of a cup of coffee a month will make a huge difference in helping us to make more videos. And even if you're not a patron supporter, I still want to thank you for watching the video. Please click like, click subscribe, leave a comment, we appreciate that as well too.
We really do. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.
Everybody, thank you for watching. We want to hear what you have to say next. Take care.
See you later.
Bye.